Hello, my dear friends. How are you doing? Hope you are having an amazing day and not having to deal with drama. Ready for new stories I have for you today? Let's go to the first one. Buckle up, as it's a long one, and don't forget to listen to the end of the story to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories, guys, and please like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. Our first story is from subreddit Just No Family. OP is mash lit, and she says, I don't want my dad to walk me down the aisle. My dad cheated on my mom, and they got divorced 11 or 12 years ago after 21 years of marriage. My mom understandably hated the woman my dad married just 5 months after their divorce was final, the woman he cheated with. But over the years, my mom has gotten over it, and she tries to be cordial with them. She even gets along with and is fond of my stepsisters. But my dad just always brushes her off and gives her the cold shoulder every time. If anyone should have this attitude, it should be coming from my mom, but it isn't. Cut to a few weeks ago. I was talking to my dad about what song we should play for our father-daughter dance. He said, whatever you want. Just pick whatever song you like, and that's what we'll dance to. But I do have one request, though. Thinking it was going to be music-related, I was ready to accept his request. But he looks at me and says, I don't want to take any pictures with your mother. At that time, my wedding was 4 weeks away, now just 9 days. I was upset and cried, and told him that he is my father and she is my mother. I want pictures of me and my parents on my wedding day, even just one. And that I would be more than happy to also take pictures with him and my stepmom. He tried to calm me down and said that everything was going to be okay. And today, he texted me and said, call me when you have time to talk. I need to talk to you. So I called him. He apologized for upsetting me a few weeks back, but that he stands firm on his decision to not take any pictures with my mom. That he wanted to tell me ahead of time so that it won't even be brought up at the wedding. I'm so upset and angry that he can't be cordial with my mom for 5 minutes to take a picture. So I decided to call my brother and ask him to walk me down the aisle. Because at this point, I'm over my dad and how he's acting about everything. I feel like he's lost his right to walk me down the aisle. How do I tell him that I no longer want him to give me away at the wedding? It's very upsetting that an adult man can't sacrifice 10 seconds for his daughter. I wonder what OP's mother did that he can't stand her so much, as it should be the other way around, as it was OP's father who left OP's mother for his now wife. Anyway, whatever has happened between them should not be a reason for OP's father to say no to OP's wishes on her wedding day. He should remember that him and his ex-wife are still OP's parents and will always be. Nothing can change that. And in OP's eyes, they are her parents, who she wants to have a memory of from her wedding. He is making OP's wedding about him and his feelings, and that's not nice from him as OP's father. And now let's listen to the community's opinion and an update. Tell him that it's up to him, but if he doesn't want to participate in photos, then he and his wife are just invited guests, the same as everyone else. Keep the father-daughter dance and walk yourself down the aisle. This is your day. Don't let anyone else dictate how it goes. You can tell your photographer there will only be one picture of the parents with the bride, as you want. Your brother can walk you down the aisle, or you can walk yourself. From this post, your dad doesn't seem to be helping you make decisions when you include him. You could also do away with both the father-daughter and mother-son dance for your dear husband, unless you want to keep it. It's never too late to change how you want things done. This is a day you will look back on for years to come. Stick to your decision, and you won't have any regrets. Your dad appears to have taken on the role of victim here. He cheated on your mom, and he is the one who doesn't want to be photographed with her? If she is even willing to allow him in the wedding without complaint, she is the far better person and deserves better treatment. I have a feeling your stepmother is behind this, but she doesn't deserve a voice in this. I agree with you. There are men here commenting as if it's no big deal and you should get over it. It is a big deal. The person who walks you down the aisle is supposed to be someone important in your life, and your dad has just killed that relationship with his undeserved pettiness and hurtful attitude toward the person he wronged. Update. This is the message I ended up sending. I want my wedding to be special. I want to be surrounded by the people I love, that feed my soul and will make this the happy memory that it should be. I've thought long and hard about your request. As an adult, as my parent, as the one who loved and raised me, I think this is unacceptable. You shouldn't let your dislike for my mother infringe on the joy of the people you love. But I understand this is too much to ask of you, so I've made an adjustment to my day and have asked brother to walk me down the aisle. I'm truly disappointed that it has worked out this way. I still want to have the father-daughter dance, if you feel comfortable doing that. I love you so much, and all I wanted was for you to support me on what is supposed to be the happiest day of my life. I hope that this hasn't upset or angered you enough that it would keep you from coming to our wedding. I truly want you to be there." My dad said, "I will be there. I love you and I understand. Maybe one day you will understand me." Me. If there's another side of the story that y'all haven't told me, I would love to hear it, and then maybe I could understand. And I'm honestly so sorry to make this change. It isn't what I've ever envisioned my wedding to be, but I just can't deal with the stress of this situation anymore. In the last 11 years, it seems that everybody has gotten past it but you, and I just can't deal with the frustration of being caught in the middle of your feud. I hope that whatever the issue is can be resolved before we have children, because I don't want to bring them up in the hostility of their grandparents' relationship. I love you, Dad. Dad, I will only say this. I've never spoke bad of your mom to you or brother, and I never will. But I hope your love for fiancé is as strong as mine for wife. Wife is not the one making the decision. I am. Things have happened in the past with your mother and I on both sides, so I'm not claiming to be perfect. But your mom has done things to hurt wife that I just can't get past. Mother is your mother, and I respect that, and I will always be cordial around her. But you are my life, and I love you with every breath. Nothing will ever keep me from my grandkids. One day you will see when someone disrespects or hurts fiancé where I stand. I'm so looking forward to this day, no matter who walks you down the aisle. Our second story is from subreddit r/advice, and OP is me and GF Throwaway 22. Jess, 23 female, and I have been together for 2 years, and she never liked my mom, and with good reason, because my mom is an alcoholic. My sister was placed into my care not too long ago. If I had not taken her, she would have been placed in the system. Jess never liked the idea, and if I did not know any better, I would say that she was disappointed when I made the decision. She wants us to have a baby and has been very vocal about it, especially since my sister moved in. I'm not particularly ready because I have a lot of responsibilities, so it does not seem possible at the moment. I'm juggling work and college on top of taking care of my sister. Jess still does not seem to understand that, but I brushed it off as normal relationship differences. Last night, I worked night shift, and this morning, my sister was not herself at all. I took her out for ice cream and tried getting her to talk, and she eventually tearfully told me that she knows that I don't want her here. I asked her what gave her that idea, and she explained to me that my fiancé was telling her that we will soon have a baby of our own and start our own real family, because that is what adults do. There wouldn't be enough space for her because her room is supposed to be the baby's nursery, so she might have to be taken back to my mom. I was so livid for many reasons, but tried not to show my sister. My mom was a functioning alcoholic, but got worse a while after I left home. Maybe because I took care of everything and everyone, so now she had to be an actual parent. Anyway, she would leave my sister alone for a day or two to go see her boyfriend. My sister would eventually have to call me and tell me the truth once the food ran out, so I would have to drop everything and go down there. She generally tried to hide my mom's bad parenting. She told me the day I took her was the happiest day of her life, and I have a very pink thank you bracelet to prove it. So it made me very mad to hear that Jess told her that she would go back. I explained to her that I want her here, and nothing would ever change that. She has nothing to worry about, and that Jess did not mean anything she said. She's not usually mean, so it's so confusing for me. My sister normally worships the ground Jess walks on, but she's been avoiding her today. I asked Jess about it, and she did not deny. She said that my sister is not our responsibility, and that she is ruining our plans to start a real family. I told her that my sister is in fact my responsibility and real family. I have no intentions of having a baby with her or get married if she can't respect that. She freaked out and started shouting and calling my sister names, saying it's all her fault. My sister must have heard because it's a tiny apartment. Because of this, I told her that she needs to leave my place and go calm down. We were planning on eloping, but it's definitely off the books now. Did I make the right decision? And how do I reassure my sister, especially after she heard what Jess said about her? Well, looks like OP dodged a bullet because his fiancée showed her real colors before the wedding. Shame on her for being jealous of a poor kid. Whatever OP does, he should not take her back. You care for your sister by removing Jess from both of your lives so that it's clear your sister can always rely on you. You cannot trust Jess around your sister ever again, and you cannot trust her to be a good mother to more children. You absolutely did the right thing. You respected the bond between you and your sister, and I think the fact that you took such a strong stance shows beyond doubt to your sister that she is loved, so no need to reassure. It sounds like you and Jess want different things, and it doesn't sound like Jess is willing to compromise at all. With your sister in the mix, she is family. It sounds like Jess is not going to be anything but a thorn in your side. I hope your sister is okay. Frankly, I would not pursue marriage or starting a family with Jess, and I'd investigate whether I could afford to keep the apartment on my own if Jess were to find another place to stay. I think Jess having this private conversation with your sister is absolutely unacceptable. She has absolutely no place to say these things to a 12-year-old child who is dealing with coming from a shaky situation as it is. Jess, come on. Frankly, man, you and Jess are so young. I would call it off with this one. Dodged a bullet. This situation could be a blessing in disguise. Our third story is from subreddit Am I an A-hole? And OP is not trying to be an itch, asking, am I the a-hole for getting upset about the condition placed on the free house my future in-laws want to buy us? So this is a disaster. My fiance, 29 male, and I, 28 female, have been looking into buying a house. We've been saving for this for years and have enough saved up to buy something small. Our city's housing market is pretty insane, so even with a good combined income, most things are out of our range. We don't need a lot of space and aren't planning to have kids anytime soon, if ever, so small works just fine. However, as a wedding gift, his parents recently offered to buy us a nice 3 to 4 bedroom home in their neighborhood. It's a bit bigger than we need and a little far from work, but it is an amazing house with a giant yard for our dogs. We were shocked and grateful and didn't think we could accept. His parents are quite wealthy, own about 7 or 8 investment properties of their own, and have always really welcomed me as family. But it just felt like too much. They kept insisting the property was owned by an older friend that had lost his wife and was looking to downsize and didn't want the hassle of putting it on the market. This way, they could buy the home from him with cash, and he'd give them a slight discount on it and help us get started in life. We eventually agreed, on the condition that they accept all the money we saved for a down payment and that the remaining amount is an interest-free loan that we would pay back monthly. Everything seemed great, until this weekend, when they sprung on us their own condition. Namely, they also want us to agree to let my fiance's younger sister live with us indefinitely. To be clear, I have no issue with his younger sister, Claire. Claire, 26 female, and I have always got along really well, which I think is one of the reasons his parents like me so much. Claire has very high-functioning autism, Asperger's I believe, and has trouble reading social clues. She still lives at home, and they've mentioned they worry about her ever being able to live independently. My fiance and I love his sister, but she can be difficult to live with, as she has trouble dealing with situations if she doesn't get her way. When we explained this wouldn't work for us, it started a giant argument. First, they tried to offer it for free again, i.e., we don't pay them back for it. We said no. His parents ultimately said they wouldn't help us buy the house unless we agreed, so we said we don't want the house then. Now they are calling us selfish for refusing a free house and putting their friend in a tough spot by pulling out last minute, just because we don't want to share a giant house with his sister. It's pretty stressful, and his sister is apparently upset too, as she was looking forward to moving in with us. I can see how it seems a little entitled, especially when we don't need all that space and would have extra bedrooms. But are we the a-holes here? They are essentially offering the house with the condition of taking in the sister, without actually asking if OP and her fiance are okay with that. They are so in the wrong here for setting the daughter up with this disappointment, telling her that she's moving in without ever getting permission. They are trying to force OP and her fiance into being Claire's full-time caretakers for the rest of their life, without even doing the courtesy of discussing this with OP and her fiance first. It's outrageous to try to slip this sort of thing under the guise of giving a gift. This is definitely not a gift. And now let's hear the community's opinion. Not the a-hole. They are essentially setting you up as her caretakers without ever asking you to take over that role. The house is supposed to be a gift. It shouldn't come with strings. Not the a-hole. What your in-laws did is really pretty awful. Rather than asking you to do them the enormous favor of taking their adult daughter into your household, they dangled a free house, then sprung a condition and told their adult daughter about it before you accepted. That is a very disappointing behavior. You were absolutely right to decline. These are not people from whom you should accept gifts, because they clearly will expect you to bend to their whims whether they are clear about it up front or make demands down the line. Their daughter's living situation is their responsibility. If she is truly unable to live independently, they need to make an arrangement for her. However, based on how you described her, it sounds like they could buy her a condominium if she's not able to manage financial independence. They did not offer you a free house. They made an offer to buy your care for his younger sister, which is fine, but you can and should say no. You'd be the indefinite caretaker of someone with a mental illness, a condition which may stay the same or improve or get worse. I would try to put an end to all conversation about this matter as soon as possible. It's not heartless or entitled, it's healthy. It may also be better for Claire. Once you and your husband become overwhelmed with this situation of her living with you, she's far worse off than she is with her parents or in a nice assisted living facility close by, for which money seems to be available. Not the a-hole